good day. I'm OBCB, student number 389745525. As you can see me here, I'm here to present about my scaffolding activity that I did, which is going to include the teaching strategy, learner activity, assessment, resources, SWRL, and vocabulary. Firstly, I'm going to start with the teaching strategy. What will the teacher do? The teacher will introduce the topic about human rights and democracy, will define it, give examples, and also give the importance of it. The teacher will ask the learner questions and the learning will take place. Then the learner activity, what will the learner do? The learner will take notes when the teacher is busy presenting about the topic. The learner will ask questions when they don't understand, and at the end, the learner will write the activity about human rights and democracy. The activity will be independently, so that the teacher can assess each and every learner. Thirdly, we have assessment. What type of assessment? We're going to use the formative assessment. The form of assessment is going to be diagnostic. Method of assessment is going to be direct assessment. And tool of assessment is going to be memorandum. Resources that the teacher and the learner is going to use is going to be the chalkboard, textbooks, exercise books. Then we have the SWRL, which is speaking, writing, reading, and learning. So SWRL is very relevant as for both teachers and the learners, as they will speak when the teacher will speak when she's busy or he's busy presenting, and the learner will speak when he or she is asking questions. And SWRL, it is very important as it will improve the learner speaking skills, listening skills, and writing skills. Lastly, we have the vocabulary. How will you teach unknown vocabulary? I will teach the unknown vocabulary as I will use my own words when explaining or doing definitions and making definitions simple so that it can be easy for learners. And I will use the word walls and definitions, and with word words I will use pictures.
In this video to share the second scaffolding activity. The first activity will be the teacher activity. Under the teacher activity, the teacher will use case studies and real life examples. For instance, they will look at the life story of Nelson Mandela, who was in prison for fighting for democracy and equality. They will also explore the history of apartheid and the role of organizations like the ANC and the UDF that for democracy. Number 2, we have the learner activity. Under the learner activity, learners will take notes and then ask questions after. They will also discuss the topic among themselves and also share their own views. Number 3, we have assessment. Number 1, we have type of assessment, which will be the formative assessment. Number 2, we have form of assessment, which will be the oral assessment. Number 3, we have method of assessment, which will be observation of learners. And number 4, we have tool of assessment, which will be the Bloom's taxonomy. Number 4, we have sources that will be used by teachers and learners. Teachers and learners will use biographies of important figures like Nelson Mandela, and the CAPS History Grade 10 textbook, articles, and they will also use documentary films. Number 5, we have the relevance of the SWRL. Students will listen to audio recordings of historical speeches, and they will also write essays and create presentations. Number 6, which is lastly, how will you teach vocabulary and non-vocabulary? The teacher will use SWRL method to introduce new words in multiple ways. First, they will show or write the new words on board and then say them aloud. And lastly, the students will write the words in the necessary and in their notebooks and then use them in the sentences. Thank you.
Greetings, my name is Fibia Sebulelo Muruane, student number 4200904. I am shooting this video to explain the third and last scaffolding activity, teacher activities. The teacher will recap to everything learners know about democracy and human rights since they have been taught in the first 2 scaffolding activities. She will do so by allowing learners to share their own ideas, opinions, and views on democracy and human rights. Thereafter, she will then ask each learner to prepare and present a speech on how they will educate the community about human rights and democracy. Learner activities. Learners will participate by sharing their different ideas, opinions, and views on democracy and human rights. They will answer questions when asked by the teacher or fellow learners. They will also prepare and present a speech on how they will educate people about democracy and human rights as instructed by the teacher. Type of assessment: formative assessment, form of assessment, oral assessment, method of assessment, observations, tool of assessment, rubric, resources, grade 10 life orientation textbook, South African Bill of Rights, essay, constitution, articles, and additional notes provided by the teacher. Relevancy of the 4 skills. Use of discussions and speech will improve learners' CALP, which is academic writing, will also improve learners' speaking, writing, and listening skills. Unknown vocabulary: the teacher will provide learners with word banks containing all terms related to democracy and human rights, which will also include visual illustrations to enhance learners' understanding. And yeah, that's it for the last scaffolding activity. Thank you.